Right, and start the meeting yet, did they, or yet?
And I think you're right, they haven't started the meeting. Still there.
I got it. Am I ready? All right, it's 5 o'clock. Call the meeting in order.
But sure you're at the ready.
Carrie, take us away.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, we'll start off with approval of last meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Motion by Ruth, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Second by Gary. All those in favor?
Aye.
Passes. All right, approval of vouchers. Stack this time around.
It was a light one last time, so we're making up for it this time.
Any highlights, Tiffany?
Highlights, one of the big things was the fire department roof repair. That was a big one.
Saw bond payment in there.
Bond payment was in there. Yeah, that's like a biannual, twice a year payment, so that was in there. That bite that we approved last meeting, that's in there, that was 90,000, so that's a big one.
Quite a bit different than us.
Comes and goes.
Those are probably the highlights.
Looking for a motion to accept the vouchers when everyone has a chance.
I move that we accept the vouchers in the amount of $276,101.22.
Motion by Gary, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Nathan, any discussion? All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So moved. Couple correspondence. Lila, would you like me to read your letter in its entirety or summarize it?
Whatever you wish.
Does anyone have a problem if I summarize it?
Who read it?
I read it.
Okay. So, general gist of it is the lateral was inspected, however, it was inspected not as a certified lateral inspection. It was more or less inspected because the driveway was getting replaced. And now they decide to sell their house. So looking to see if we can accept that. However, the big issue is that we didn't get a copy of the video. So
Well, you've got significantly more experience than I do in regards to what does that mean?
So here's one thing that I have questions about is, if I'm not mistaken, that development is a CIC, correct? Homeowners Association?
Yes, it is.
Right, so that lateral would technically be owned by your HOA, not you.
No, it's owned by the homeowner.
Do you have a copy of, so most CICs, anything outside of the structure belongs to the association. It's
Not in this case.
Do you And this is where it's difficult for us to rule on this because, two things. One, nowhere in the document did it say that they actually inspected all the way to the main. And where it enters the main is probably accounts for about 40% of the issues we run into. So there's usually leakage, a broken pipe or something.
It does say, in the Carlson Brothers invoice, it says that Troy ran the camera to the main sewer.
Does it say that?
It was very clean with no dips or bellies in it. From the main clean out, the sewer line drops about 7 feet down.
So, and
So they started in our garage
Okay.
and went to the main.
and this is a tricky one because I have called out several contractors that have given me, back when I was in that position, they approved it and I audited the video and I would find 3, 4 issues. Root balls, cracks in the pipe. You know, it doesn't say anything about those kind of defects. It says clean and, you know, dips and sags. I would assume that if they notice something,
Could I ask a question?
Sure.
It says they don't have access to a thumb drive that they can make available to us. Can't we see this some other way? Couldn't we have our engineer look at their,
I mean, we do you remember what the footage is from your clean out to the main? I'm assuming it was, well, and again,
It's 40 feet.
I mean, if it was a clean, I mean, we have a push cam. But I just don't know, since we've never, as far as I know, us as staff have gone out to verify out in the field.
Can I interrupt? We had the Carlson Brothers Plumbing and Heating, and they said that this test that they did would be exactly the same as the test they would do, and that they would stand by their work that they did in May, that it was, I trust them, and I think people trust them as being, doing good work.
And I hear what you're saying, but I can tell you, again, when I was in this position and I audited videos, all the plumbers, there isn't a plumbing coming around that I didn't notice something they didn't miss. I literally had ones that they went through a root ball and they said it was fine. So I'm a little skeptical to trust. But I mean, I would have no problem if our staff wanted to go and just, if it's an easy push, if the clean out's readily accessible in the garage, run it down. If it's only 40 feet, it would take 15 minutes to do it. If it is in fact clean, and that way they can just verify. I have no problem with that.
when you say our staff, you're talking about Josh and team?
Yep, Josh or
And then
Rand.
Rand.
Rand is the utility person.
Yeah.
So we have a push camera with, I think, 100-foot cable on it. So,
That sounds excellent. I mean, I think that's,
I mean, we're just looking for verification. We have a plumber that, you know, I mean, granted, it's not the form. So we would probably send that form out to OSL for them to sign. But for us to verify, I have no problem. Right now. It's minimal time and, you know, it's unfortunate circumstance, but, you know, I don't want to jam somebody up for, you know, the amount that they paid to do it again,
I don't disagree.
you know, just for not having the video.
So is this something we table until we get that done?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we really need to make a motion on this, but, you know, obviously, we can't accept it as is right now. But once everything is verified, then, Public Works Supervisor would be in touch with you. So is Josh or is Mike or Josh here?
Right there.
They're out there.
They're out in the hallway.
Do you want to pull one of them in here? I just want to make sure they're comfortable doing it before.
And if we tabled it for our next meeting, then we would know the results and accept it at that time.
I just don't know if it's anything that needs to get voted on.
Yeah, if we approve the Public Works to look at it, then they would give the final approval.
Yeah, so if they found any issues,
We could just contact them and say it's okay.
Okay, they're here. We'll,
Sorry.
Josh, would you have any problem? They said that ladder's about 40 feet and the cleanout's readily accessible. Would you have any problem using our push camera just to go down and verify?
Yeah, are we charging for it?
Have we done any yet?
No, we haven't done. We've been using the camera just for kind of our own checks and stuff, but we're not equipped to be doing video cameraing, you know. Plus, we're not licensed plumber to be cutting in the sewer lines if we have to.
Well, you wouldn't be cutting in. It's already been cameraed.
Well, I'm saying, I'm just in the future, we haven't been doing any because we're not licensed to be cutting in, like. For example, there is one house that we're waiting for inspection. There is no way to get in the sewer. They have to take this, toilet off.
Mhm.
So I don't know if that's something we want to venture down the road.
Well, that was the whole reason, at least back, I was in the position, that was the whole reason for Randy's job. And because we were running into so many issues with the contractors
Sure.
and their videos, that we were just going to bring it all in-house. We were going to conduct our own inspections, and that way whoever goes out and does it would just verify it.
Yeah, that's
You know,
something we could look at down the road, but we'll have to equip for it. Get a service truck and tools and
Sure.
plumbing supplies.
How long do you think this would take?
That to probably, I don't know, half hour or so.
Would we be setting a precedence if we started doing
Well,
no charges?
See,
Township charge?
See, and this is where I'm thinking this is a verification, not necessarily an inspection. You know, the inspection's already been done. We just don't have the video to do it. And to honestly review a video would probably take about the same amount of time as it would be to just go out and, or a 40-foot lateral, if it is in fact clean, and it really wouldn't take long. But
You say it would take longer to go down to their office, look at their video and.
well, they don't have,
They don't have any?
they don't have anything. So this is where we don't have, and for every inspection, we maintain a video for it.
I got it.
You know, because there are times that we have to go back and review something. If issues are found, contractors have questions, we can at least have something to answer that. What would you think would be a reasonable fee?
Put you on the spot, because that's a discussion of, once you get the equipment, the time and.
I mean, yeah, this isn't an inspection, this is just a verification, so.
I know some contractors, it's between 450 to 250 for them to do, an inspection. We're not out to undercut contractors, so we can't make money on it, so.
We've already paid $476.
We thought we did the inspection we thought we would need, and it was at the time. It's just that the sale is a different thing, but we did the inspection, and Carlson Brothers says, this is our work, they will guarantee their work and that it was good. So I seem odd if we have to have them come back out when they would already say they guaranteed it.
So they just used a camera to view it. They didn't take any footage.
They took footage, but after a few weeks, they deleted the footage.
It wasn't a
And
problem.
then after that, we decided to sell our house.
But there was no problem. That's why they deleted it. They didn't keep the footage.
So they did this in May of this year.
Yes.
About 2.5 months ago. So it's very unlikely anything would have happened in the meantime.
I have a hard time, just saying that the township will take on some of these projects without some compensation.
Well, and the ultimate plan is that we would just do all the inspections in-house. We wouldn't take third party, we would do. And that way, like I said, whoever was going out and doing the inspection would do the inspection. Because right now, the way it's done is the third party contractors go out, they do their inspection, they charge the homeowner, then they bring the video to Public Works Supervisor, they review it. If they have questions, they have to call the contractor, and sometimes it can be a painstaking process, one of which the staff isn't compensated for. So at least whoever's doing the inspection, like, if they see an issue, they can locate that issue right out in the yard. Because you can just hook a locator up to the camera and use it as a sonde and just locate that issue out in the yard. So at least that answers some of those questions. And like I said, then we're in control of the video. And not to mention, it's a great time to start gathering data to put into GIS. So we would know where everyone's laterals are because we could go out and locate them and then dump those coordinates into the GIS. So it was part of a whole big thing. But right now, I mean, there wasn't any traction on that since I left. So again, that's a whole different thing, but that was part of the reason why we got the push camera.
Excuse me, the reason we did this is we were having our driveway, it had a bump in it, the township looked at it. They had that taken care of, and we thought it would be smart to do this inspection before the tar, because if there was a problem, we'd have to disrupt the tar. And so we did it like we thought it should be done. We did it under we did it a couple of months ago, and they didn't see a problem. They had a video. I think, I guess I trust them. They said there was no problem, and they weren't trying to trick anybody. They were just telling us the truth. They had the video even. It seems odd that we have to do it over again.
Well, I understand your concern, but our point of sale inspections have tight protocols. Everything's listed right on the sheet, and it's a form that the contractor has to fill out. That hasn't been filled out, and they also have to include a video because we have to be able to audit their work.
Well, I understand that. I just want you to be clear that you know what we did and that we did things appropriately. And they even made the video, and you can talk to them, the people who did it, if you don't want to do it, or if we don't want to have to do it over again. But they did everything that we were supposed to, and I thought we did everything we were supposed to.
It's just that we had a different purpose at that time, and since then the home sale has come up. And the culvert is great, Josh. We think, we have no water in our ditch.
Thank you.
So we're really pleased with the culvert.
I'm gonna refer to Josh. Are you guys ready to set it up and start doing the in-house inspections? And
Currently, no.
currently, no. So that makes a difference.
But in this case, it's not an inspection, it's a verification.
Correct.
Same process though.
Same process.
And
But it does not set a precedent for the future.
From your position.
I guess we did a dumb thing to have it done before the driveway, but it seemed like the right thing to do.
It was smart. And unfortunately, like I said, it's our point of sale inspections are very specific on what we require. And but no, I applaud you for taking that step and that foresight to, make the things like the culvert correction and verify that before paving. Many people don't. So. Josh, do you think $50 would be a reasonable amount?
Yes.
Should only take about
This
an
is
hour.
this is a simple one. The clean outs right there. So.
Right.
Yes.
Would you be comfortable with $50? That way
Very
it
much.
covers the.
Are you comfortable?
I'm comfortable.
I feel like that's reasonable. It covers our time. We don't make any money on it. And, like I said, it's just verification. We can just pull a quick video. You won't even have to review it because you'll be able to see everything that you need to see while you're doing the inspection. And then we can just do the paperwork. In the meantime, can you contact the person or can you coordinate, get the paperwork to her for that inspector from Carlson to sign off? Because they'll still need to sign their information. Sound good?
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Josh.
Yep.
All right, one more correspondence. From Esko Community Partnership regarding Esko Fund Days. Dear members of the Thomson Town Board, on behalf of the Esko Community Partnership, thank you for your generous $2,000 donation in support of this year's Esko Fund Days. We sincerely appreciate your continued generosity and commitment to our community. We are writing to request your approval for 2 items related to the street dance scheduled for Saturday, August 8th. As in previous years, we respectfully request permission to extend the event until 11 o'clock PM, 1 hour beyond the park's standard 10 o'clock PM closing time. Additionally, we request permission for alcohol to be served during the event by a properly licensed vendor. Attached is the liquor license. Thank you for your time and thoughtful consideration of these requests. We appreciate your support and look forward to another successful Esko Fun Day celebration. Sincerely, Melanie Rice, President.
I'll make a motion to accept their requests for both extending the time to 11 and since they have the license here for doing the liquor, I'll make a motion to accept their requests.
And motion by Ruth. Do I have a second?
Yes, me. Provide a certificate of insurance. It's in the town and also insured.
You want to amend your motion?
Amending the motion so that they bring us a certificate of insurance along with the other items.
In the amount of,
Did we have an amount previously? $1 million? Yeah, that's what I thought so. All right. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for
you need a
adding
second?
that. Yes, we do.
I'll second that.
All right. Second by Gary. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Okay. All right, citizen comments. We have 2. Mr. Parrish.
There are packets in the back if anybody wants to follow along. It'll be a lot easier if you grab a packet. But at any rate, I'm gonna start. This is regarding a rezone on East Riverside Road. Grant and I turned in an application in July of 2025. Dan, our zoning person, says that we turned in, or we paid a fee in July of 2025 and did not turn in the application. My question would be, do we stand at the counter and receive checks for applications without the application, take and cash the check? That's my first point. So Dan maintains that we never turned in the application in July. We did, you cashed the check. Numerous calls between July and somewhere around December. December 4th, Dan sets up a meeting with Dave Pritchett, former town attorney, Dan, our zoning person, Grant, and myself. At this meeting, we're trying to rezone a piece of property from highway commercial to LA2, which would allow Grant and I to build multifamily on this piece of property. Of course, this meeting doesn't really have anything to do with us being able to do it. Dan felt we should have a meeting with then town attorney Dave Pritchett. At that meeting, Dave explicitly told your zoning person, if the zoning commission and the town board do not accept their application, we have no choice but to let them use East Riverside Road as entrance to a commercial business, whatever's on your list for commercial business. He specifically told your zoning person. Dan then argued with them, and his statement was, not on my watch. Okay, so now we're to the point where Grant and I believe that our zoning application has been denied. Finally, we were able, at the very last minute, we were able to get on with the marijuana one sometime in February. Okay, so at this point, we think we're going to build a commercial business on East Riverside Road because our application has been denied. I ask that you look at the sheet with the highlighted colors. These are Dan and I's emails. There's not one copy, cut, paste It's all in order. The pages are numbered. Okay. Number one under the pink,
Okay,
Whose colors are you're
No.
color coded?
they're color coded. So you'll have to read, I mean, I can tell you who said it, but they're color coded. So the first one is Dan's.
Okay,
It's pink. Notice that he says what he says. He says the town will have no choice but to let us use that road as access. No choice. Then go to page 3. And again, this isn't copy and repaste under the pink. Okay, now he says that our entrance must come through somebody else's property and build a 5/8 mile long township road through a swamp. Okay, clearly he said that. Okay. The orange is the part on page 1. Again, he suggests that we build a town road. It's highlighted in orange. Okay. We decline for several reasons. We decline that we don't own the property. It's clearly a wetland and it would flood out the Esko liquor store. I ask you to flip to the map. Look at the yellow line. I didn't draw the yellow line. That's from your zoning. Can you see it in reference to the Esko liquor store? You see his yellow line?
Yep.
We're all aware that the Esko, that Thomson Road sits up on a plane. So he's got a road going, I don't know, 25 feet from a man's business. He carries it further on page 3. He states that's not the town's concern. So building a township road on somebody else's property, flooding another human being's business is not the township's concern. Okay, purple, our man Dan, on 6/12, he gives himself a timeline. It's a self-imposed timeline, page number 3. It's on 6/12. On 6/29, I very kindly say, Dan, we're ready for the township's opinion. Can we use East Riverside Road for access to our commercial business? He then gives me a lecture that it hasn't been 10 business days. Of course, it's far exceeded 10 business days. Far exceeded. Okay, let's go to the yellow. On page number 3, Dan says the sewer is at max capacity and cannot sustain one more tap. That's on page 3 in yellow. Okay, page 7. Now apparently our zoning official within this township, he has the authority to reserve capacity for remaining residential development. Is that the case? Does he have that authority?
we're just listening tonight.
Yeah,
going.
does he have the authority?
I hate to interrupt, but we do have a 2-minute time limit for our public comment.
Okay, then I'll put the rest of it on Esko neighbors if you won't let me finish. It's up to you.
We were gonna let him finish.
I just want to make sure we're being fair to everybody who is here.
It don't matter to me. The sewer inspection was certainly more than 2 minutes, but I'll put it all over if you won't let me
No,
finish.
no,
It's
continue.
ridiculous.
Continue.
So that's my question. I want to answer it. I know you're not gonna answer it, but does Dan have the authority to decide who can hook onto the sewer with the remaining capacity or not? That's the question. Green. Okay. We're gonna do a traffic impact statement. He spoke to the town engineer. At the last meeting, he said he was gonna recommend to you guys that we were gonna have a traffic impact statement. Did he recommend to you guys at the last meeting? I was here, he didn't, but I don't know if he is able to do it in person or not. And finally, the blue is the most, the funniest one. So if we're able to use East Riverside Road as an entrance, Dan then goes on to suggest that we excavate the East Riverside Road, we widen the medians, We add gravel to the road and repave the road. Does that sound logical to you guys? Does anybody read the guy's emails? My final question to you, how is that parcel currently zoned? Can we get a letter? Did anybody read the town attorney's letter? Do we know what's going on within this township, or are we gonna let it crumble? Because that's currently what we're doing. There's not one person that knows what the hell's going on around here. That's all I got.
Mike, are you on board?
I am.
I'm gonna refer to you for any further comments. I'm just gonna be a listener tonight.
So I can tell you this from the paperwork that I've seen. I believe that the rezoning request that was submitted, and I'm not sure which one was just being talked about, but there was a rezoning request submitted earlier this year, and I apologize, I only have one screen up and I'm not finding that rezone. I will in just a second. Give me a moment here. Just want to make sure I'm talking about the right one. There was one submitted on the 20th of February, 2026 for,
That's the correct one, sir. We resubmitted it, but we did not resubmit a check because the township already cashed the check in July of 2025.
okay. So that rezoning was to rezone it for the construction of duplex townhomes, 2 per lot, 1 single foundation with 2 residences. That rezoning request, because it was recommended denial by the planning commission. It was not processed didn't go back to the town board. And I think that, I'm not 100% sure why that occurred, but it did occur. And that therefore is approved by operation of law under statute 15.99. So that property by law is now rezoned.
Okay, what is the commercial, I want to know what the zoning is, because that zoning that you spoke of I don't see that on any map. Is it LA2? What is it?
It's not on a
Excuse my
map.
tone with you. I'm sorry about that. I want to know what that zoning is, because the zoning that you just spoke of, I do not see, and I don't possess the skill that you do, sir, but I do not see that on any map. I
It
do
is
not
not on the
see
map.
that.
If I may talk, it is not on a map. Your
Okay.
request didn't request a particular zoning. It requested a rezone of a parcel to allow the construction of duplexes, townhomes, 2 per lot on a single foundation with 2 residences.
Thank you
That,
for the clear answer.
that
Got it.
may be the L2A. It would typically be the lowest zone that would allow it. So normally when you request a rezone, you request a rezone to a particular zoning district. But that was not what was requested, but I believe the courts would say this request is approved to a zone that allows that. So if we're still talking commercial, this property is no longer zoned commercial. It's
And
now zoned residential.
My point to it is, he wouldn't let me turn in the application. He wouldn't accept the application when I wrote LA2. He made me specifically write duplexes, which I understand that that's on there. What I'm trying to say is that doesn't fit any zoning district that we do. You did answer my question, and I do appreciate your answer, but what is the zoning? There is no LA2A that I see on any piece of document anywhere in this township. And maybe there is, I just can't find it.
So I can tell you this, that is because it is by operation of law. There is no ordinance that has rezoned it, but the law has effectively rezoned it under 15.99.
We'll build duplexes there. You've answered my question. Thank you for your clear answer.
And by the way, that was also conveyed to you in an email earlier this week, I believe. I don't know if you received it. You should have.
I did, but at the top of the email, it does say if this happened, and quite frankly, around here, you never know what's gonna be said, so that's why I wanted to do this, that's why I wanted to talk. I mean, the town's falling apart and we're watching it.
Okay, I want to jump in. Greg, do you have anything more you'd like to add?
Oh,
Okay. So as I explained to you, because it involves personnel, we can't discuss anything here. So, but I will say we will look into your concerns. And then we'll address those internally. Okay. Mr. Kuglitz, Grant.
Yeah.
You are next on behalf of Jim Kuglitz.
Basically, I'm here representing my dad. Hi, Mr. Curry. My name's Grant. I'm Jim's son. He is having trouble with the new developers agreement. As you know, he's expressed that he spent a lot of time and even had his own engineer and some money working with Mr. Pritchett on the original developers agreement. They revised it a number of times. We all sat at a table right over here, went through it line by line, spent a good amount of time. That's not the only time that occurred. And then when Pritchett left, we're starting with a brand new developers agreement. And I can't speak to specifics on the developers agreement. I'm not an expert on it, not by any means, but I've been in business for a long time and I know business ethics, and it doesn't seem very ethical to completely abandon something that he had put countless hours of time and money into and develop a new developers agreement that he is not comfortable with. I can't say exactly, like I said, I can't speak to the specifics of it. I guess my question is there any way that we can go back and start from that original one that was being worked on with Mr. Pritchett? Mr. Pritchett even told my dad that he wasn't going to leave until he finished up that developers agreement. And he did not do that. He just took off and left. That's not right. I guess my question is, what do I need to do to help this process? And can we make this developers agreement more like the original one, the one that my dad feels more comfortable?
Oh,
I
my.
think I can answer that. That developers agreement, let me give you a little background first.
Okay.
I've been doing developers agreements for 30 some years. Our firm has done well over 100 of them. We have a standard agreement. It's been in court, I would say at least 10 different times, challenged. It is held up every single time. Courts have held the terms of our agreement to be valid. We know it is a very good agreement. It has been worked out over years and years, and like I say, literally over 100 different developments. The developers agreement that I saw is not one that you guys had worked on, is not one that I would recommend to the council, to the town board. It was missing a lot of provisions that we normally put in there. I thought about taking that and trying to modify it. I thought it would take an awful lot longer to basically redraft that agreement than it would be to take our fairly standard template and modify it, which yes, it did require some modification, but the modifications are very easy compared to redrafting the whole thing. And essentially, I would want it to have the language that we have in this one. So even if I redrafted it, it's going to look very much like this. It just would be a more confusing document, take a lot more time to do so. In terms of what you can do to make this go forward, I've got this in the hands of your attorney. I understand he'll be reviewing it. I will hear from him what he would like changed. We will work through those provisions. It would be approved with the final plat approval. So we are still waiting on the final plat to come forward. I'm hoping that can be done at the next meeting. That would basically allow your dad to plat the property. He would have to put up the letter of credit, have to show us he's got good title. We'd execute all the documents. We'd record everything. He'd be free to start selling the lots. He would be able to continue building the road. It would lay out the timelines for when the road's going to be done, etc. If he didn't do the improvements when they were supposed to be done, we would have the letter of credit to draw on if need be, and the township could step in if it wanted to and finish that road. But this is the standard way we do these developments. This one is kind of upside down. The improvements went in before we had an agreement, a developer's agreement, which is unusual, before we had final plat approval, which is also unusual. Not that it can't be done, it's just a clumsier way to do it, in my opinion. This is the way that we have done virtually all of our developments. It works very smoothly. Everyone knows what they're supposed to do and when they're supposed to do it. So I would suggest that your dad work with his attorney, get comments back to me. I will certainly work with him to get that developer's agreement into a language that we can both agree on. I would hope we could do that. It may be that we can't. We'll have to wait and see. But until I hear back from him, there's nothing that I can do.
Okay, well, is it the township's opinion or position that Dave Pritchett, who was the town attorney for many, many years, is incompetent?
Those are your words. I did not say that.
No, I'm
I did
asking,
not
I'm just,
imply
I'm
that.
asking, I'm asking the board that, because again, this process has been drawn out for over 3 years now, and this is just the latest. And he has hours and money invested into the previous town attorney who just up and left. And now this is a position that my dad is in. So I understand and respect that you have a developer's agreement that you use and it's proven over time, but that doesn't really help my dad, in his position that he's currently in.
So one thing further, the process that I think the township was going through that your dad intended to follow would have required all the improvements to be done before any lots can be sold. That would require the road to be built, everything done. And if I understand it, that is when the developer's agreement would have been approved. What the way that I'm approaching this, the way that we standardly approach this is we do the developer's agreement before those improvements are in. We have a letter of credit to secure it. That lets you or your father market those lots if that's what he wants to do. And we have the certainty that there will be a road there that whoever buys those lots can use to access them. So it actually speeds the process along in terms of where or at least what options your father may want to implement in terms of marketing the property.
Okay. Can I ask you one specific question? Because I'm not an expert. Is it part of this developer's agreement that we're putting 4 more inches of gravel on the road?
So the developer's agreement references, it doesn't specifically call out what goes on the road. It references plans and specs approved by the city's engineer, township's engineer, excuse me. My understanding is that the road was built without being inspected by, well, let me rephrase that. I am not sure what type of inspection went in there from the township's engineer. The current township engineer is, my understanding is he is going to be looking at the data he can get. That may be from density tests, that may be from notes from a prior engineer. I don't know exactly what. And he is going to make a determination of what that road needs to be in terms of how much gravel or whatever else before the blacktop is put down. I have not seen what that number is going to be. He may have been in touch with your engineer. I have not seen or heard any of those conversations, but I do understand that is what is intended, is he's going to come back and say, this is what we need to have that road built to the standard. Normally what happens is we have a township engineer inspecting it as it's being constructed. That was not done here. In a normal situation, at this stage, we would already know exactly how that road's constructed, and it would have been constructed according to the township's plans, township approved plans.
Okay, one last question. Is it typical to be working on a developer's agreement this late in the process, or is that something that's usually done at the beginning of a project?
So normally, here's what is the late part of this process. The preliminary plat was approved 2 years ago. Normally, we have a final plat that follows it very shortly. we have a developer's agreement that is done with the final plat. They both come together to the town board for approval, and then construction starts. That's not what happened here. Construction started before we ever got a final plat or before we ever had an engineer normally inspecting it as we normally would. And I've got to tell everyone I am on a hotspot and I'm running out of high-speed data. So I may disappear pretty quickly from this meeting and I apologize.
That's all I had. Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, Mike.
thanks, Mike. Did that
If-
clear
if
everything
there-
up?
Can I ask the board, I am in Illinois for a wake, which is going on now. I'm actually in the parking lot. If there's anything else on the agenda that you would like to have me talk about, can I have that brought up now by chance?
I think we're good.
Yeah, I think we're good.
Okay, I'm going to sign off and thank you. I appreciate it. Normally I attend your meeting through its entirety, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to now.
Appreciate your time, Mike.
You bet. Thanks.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Grant, did you have anything else?
Nope.
Okay. Okay, moving on to old business, approval of the 2025 audit.
I did not include a copy in this packet because it was in last packet.
And that gave us a week to take a look at it.
Yeah.
2 weeks. And so having looked over the audit, I didn't have any questions and I'll make a motion to accept the 2025 audit from Amdu.
Okay, motion by Ruth, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nathan. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion passes. All right, update on the fob entry system. Tiffany, I think this is you. Or,
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. We haven't really done anything with it yet. I was just asked where we're at. Our current system doesn't really. It's, yeah, we have fobs. Technically, you're supposed to be able to assign time frames to them and stuff, but it doesn't work properly. And then the other problem with that is somebody still has to be here physically to disable the alarm. So we would, in order to get a fob system working, I think we would need to upgrade the alarm system. So that's where it's at. We haven't really done anything else with it.
all right, we'll curb it to next meeting.
I mean, do you have a question, Gary?
Well, I'm a little, I don't say confused, but maybe just uncomfortable with the fact that we've got an alarm system that doesn't work. And a
The
fob
alarm system works okay, but somebody has to physically be here to enable and disable it. You can't do it remotely. You can't schedule it. You have to be here to do it.
I guess I shouldn't have said it doesn't work, but it doesn't work at the level that I think we thought we were going to have. I wasn't here when it was ordered, but my understanding is
With
that we
the-
were
the-
supposed to have some,
With the fob side of it, yeah, the fob side, the scheduling doesn't seem to work.
Yeah, we didn't look at anything. Those systems were more expensive. Unfortunately, we didn't know. And when I was off on medical leave, I think they had a problem.
You did, yeah.
It stopped working. So I had to come in and hard boot it and it's been working okay.
And yeah, since then it's been working fine, but
so I guess, I think, I'm not clear on what we're gonna do. We're looking at the fob system or we're looking at the alarm system.
I think if you want it as a viable option for renters, that we would need to look at an alarm system.
Okay.
So if
So
that's
just-
something the board would like us to look into, we can, but so far we have not done anything with that.
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think we're trying to Band-Aid something that's eventually not gonna work anyway, so shouldn't we be looking at a replacement? And I know we've spent money on this, but it doesn't
No.
work at the level we need it to. It's just something that we've got to move on from, or we should move on from.
So you would like us to start getting some estimates for upgrading the alarm system to what we would need
I
to
think
be able to
so.
work a fob system?
That's my, yes, I would like us to see us do that. Is that an emotional thing?
No, just curb it to next month.
I think that's a good idea as well. I agree with Gary, you know. if
Oh.
it's-
Well, I do know that there are lock systems out there that'll work with a center post lock. And like I said, they disable from the top.
Yeah.
So I can reach out, or if you wanted to reach out to places, I mean, where I work, that's what we have. And we have a pretty sophisticated system there. So all our badges are timed.
Yeah, we appreciate any suggestions that,
I'll talk with the folks at, cause I know it's a local company that just installed it, so,
okay.
I'll do some digging and see if I can at least get it. It's a pretty nice system, so.
We should have that.
All right, so that is curbed. Do you want to just keep it on the agenda for next meeting then?
Sure.
Okay. All right, recycle shed coverage.
So we don't really have any more new information. So kind of where that stands is we can't really hire somebody temporary outside of the union. So that leaves us with either, keeping the shed open during business hours and somebody here can lock and unlock it, or not having it open at all. Or if one of our union members was willing to come unlock and lock during outside of business hours, that you pay them to do that. I mean, those are kind of the options we have.
Okay, I like the idea of working, you know, just putting a notification and working it with the business hours. Being it is a union position, would we need an MOU from the union in order to have the union person be the person to lock and unlock our current staff?
Not if it's during business hours, and even if
No,
it was
if it-
outside, would you need that?
No, it just, the work, when somebody vacates a position temporarily, it just is offered to the next bargaining unit member.
So it has to be that bargaining, so nobody at the town garage can,
No, then you would need something.
Then you
That's
need
because
it.
now you're crossing into.
Sure. Sure.
So I think the most, in my opinion, and we can hear from anyone else. Go ahead, Gary.
I was gonna agree with you. I think that makes,
Okay.
it's the simplest, it makes the most sense, and
I was actually gonna say just close it. After somebody decided they were gonna fill the dumpster with siding. And we had to have a staff member go and clean it all out.
When was that?
recently.
Last Friday.
Yeah, somebody
When-
said, because it was.
Recycle bins, one of the recycle bins was in the building there and they filled it up with vinyl siding. And then, I cleaned it out of there and put it on our dumpster. But it was full.
Interesting.
And I can tell you from the times that I've been at the recycling shed, a lot of people have questions. They don't quite understand what goes where, so unless it's manned.
Yeah.
It's,
You can't figure it out.
they can't figure it out.
Like-
It's not that I mean, I know a lot of people appreciate it and makes it handy, but there are still other options there and
I have no problem with that either. I mean, we want to close it, but I don't appreciate them. Just using it as a garbage dump and then we have to end up taking the time and the money to put it in our own trash. And that, it happened once, it's too much.
Right.
And this is gonna be, do we know yet when Irene is coming
I
back?
haven't checked in with her recently. Last time I talked to her, she thought it would be a total absence of about 8 weeks. That's the last I've heard.
It's been only about 3 so far.
It's been, has it been like 5?
It's been 5 already?
No. I'm like,
I don't think it's been 5.
4?
Anyway, 8 weeks, maybe
Anyway,
at the shortest.
that's the last I heard.
Okay. I think we can, I would support just shutting it down until we get,
putting a note,
L back.
putting a note on the door to say, just take it,
Yeah.
Carlton County.
Yeah.
Well, I was unaware that they were using it as a siding dump. So if that be the case, maybe just to shut the doors until we can get someone back here full time or part-time as we have. So,
is that do we need a motion on that?
yeah, we would.
Okay. Is that a motion or did you have anything to add? Nathan?
I motion that we close the recycling center down temporarily until Irene is back.
Motion by Gary, do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nathan. Any other further discussion? All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, wastewater treatment capacity allocation permit. Very exciting stuff.
I forwarded it on to Nathan Feist and, Mike Curry, and, it looks pretty standard. They were both okay with it, so.
Will, are you taking his place tonight?
Partially, I have nothing to say on that matter, I guess, but
So this is something that comes up every couple of years then,
Yeah.
if I'm reading this right?
Annually.
And is this is really not much of a change at all?
So I think a lot of it is as we have capacity allocation fees, you know, it kind of adjusts our population, how much we're adding.
Right.
So then, you know, they permit us to add so much and then they add, there's a line in there for exceedances. So if we exceed that, that's where we have to explain that to the district of why we had an exceedance.
Yeah.
You know, because I think, did we actually have an exceedance with that last event this spring?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, so it happens occasionally, but usually it's something gets broken somewhere.
Explainable.
Yep, but as long as you can explain it and what you did to rectify it, sometimes it comes with a penalty, sometimes it doesn't, all depends on.
Does this need just a signature or does this need a motion?
Both. I see, the only thing I see different is the executive director, but I'd make a motion to accept the permit as it's written.
All right, motion by Ruth, do I have a second?
I would second that.
All right, second by Gary, any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none, motion carries. All right, Esko soccer donation, Esko hockey donation. We do not have the information for Esko hockey, so that will be postponed until we have said information. I did reach out to Tony as he is the one that reviews the financial information. We did receive the financials for Esko soccer. He said that everything looked good and, yeah, so it's up to us if we would like to give them a donation. We typically have.
So for soccer, the last donation we gave them was in 2024. There was no donation to them in 2020. And, the last donation was 1,500.
Are they asking for just one, the missed year, or are they just asking for this one?
They provided 24 and 25 financials.
So they probably want
They
both.
probably want both.
It wasn't clear to me whether or not they wanted their initial donation or if they wanted 2 years worth. Do we know that for sure?
I was just to say, so do we know if they didn't request it before and we just denied it or
We don't know that.
I don't know that?
Don't believe it was requested last year.
I think we should just go with this year.
Let's just go with this year's and then it's easier to go again rather than
Sure.
Yeah.
overpay and look for a refund.
So is that a motion?
Yes, that's a motion to provide $1,500 donation to this soccer account and the soccer association.
To reflect 2026. I'm just saying, so if they do.
Yes.
Want to come back.
Yes.
Let's clarify that a little bit, so. Not knowing if they were trying to get both or,
So this reflects for 2026.
yes, this would be a
Yes.
2026.
Yes.
payment. So if they were seeking 2025,
They'd have to ask for it.
they would have to come back and put a separate request in for that. All right, motion by Gary. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Nathan. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion carries.
Hey Logan, I did email Tony the Esko hockey request and financials on Monday.
He is out of town, so he may not, I talked to him last night, because I did ask when I was reviewing everything, and he said he hasn't seen it.
Okay, yeah, because I didn't get a response from him either.
Okay.
But-
So did you email it to his school, his township, his personal? Yeah, like I said, I talked to him last night just to make sure that he had reviewed the soccer financials, and then that's when I noticed that it was adult, hockey was on there as well, and he said he hadn't received anything or spoken to anyone. So just a hiccup. If you want to just follow up with him, I think he'll be back next week. He said services not great. We've only been talking via text, so
Okay.
if you want to follow
I'll
up with them.
respond.
And then just make sure, but yeah, we'll just, like I said, that'll just get pushed to next meeting, so it'll be there by default.
Thank you.
All right, CD maturity.
How about election?
Election judges.
See, I was getting ahead of myself. All right, approval of election judges for 2026 primary election and 2026 general election.
The list of names I included, I believe have all received the proper training at this point.
Got a couple, cloquet judges this year. All good. I mean, I looked at the list. I have no problem with, making a motion to accept the election judges, as long as they've all got their training for 2026 primary and general election.
Yeah, motion by Ruth. Do we have a second?
I would second that.
All right, second by Gary. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, none. Motion carries. All right, now we can do CD maturity.
Okay. We have 3 CDs that are coming up for expiration. They are expiring or maturing on the 22nd. So if we do nothing, they automatically renew.
So explain the percent, okay, National Bank of Commerce.
So these are currently with National Bank of Commerce. So those are their current rates. And then I also included North Shore Bank's rates in case you wanted to move them, but there are 3 of them. They're all 113,000 some odd dollars. If you want, I'll give you the exact amount, $113,738.98. All 3 of them. So I guess, do you want to put them back into CDs and at what length of time? I always think it's good to stagger them so that if you need that money, it's available. We just got our tax deposit, so we could afford at this time to renew all 3 of these and we'd be fine.
Are these our only CDs or do we have other CDs
We have
already?
one other one.
And do you happen to know when the expiration is?
I gotta look that up. I think. I don't remember.
Okay. I'm with
Looking for
you.
your recommendation on these.
I recommend staggering them, but it's,
At what level?
Just keep them within a year.
well, yeah, so like the 9-month one is pretty good. So like maybe a 9, a 12 and even the 8-month is pretty good. 8, 9 and 12 or something like that. Or unless you want a shorter one in there, like a 6-month one.
Has there been any forecast of what CD rates are forecast to do? I mean, I know interest rates are coming down, but they've also been saying mortgage rates were gonna be coming down for the last 2 years and, they've barely ticked. So,
They don't really like to tell me that because they don't want to make
Right.
promises, but they can't.
I just didn't know if.
So I haven't heard.
If you heard any
Yeah.
from anywhere else, financial advisors or.
I like the idea of the 8, 9 and 12 as well, but, or even 8, 6 and 12 would be okay.
Or there's a 10 in that same 10 and 12 are the same 4.2%.
And 12.
Yeah, I think that's.
Even, is there even an 8-month one?
Yeah.
The 8 month is on the top line.
Top line.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Okay.
Well, I would motion that we invest the individual into 3 individuals, 1 at 8, 1 at 9, and 1 at 12 months. Receiving a 4.10 on the 8 month, a 4.15 on the 9 month, and is it 4.2 then on the 12?
Yep.
Okay. Anybody else think?
That's what you think is acceptable for your point of view?
You've got a different opinion there? I'm
No,
looking
that
at-
sounds
I'm-
good.
Well, I was looking at Logan.
Okay,
I don't have enough knowledge with CDs if I would.
I like the idea of not going beyond 12 months just for the flexibility. And the staggering, I think that's a good cautionary strategy as well. Gives us more flexibility.
Yeah. I mean, I would even like to see things even more staggered, instead of 3, break them up, maybe into 5 and then have, 5.
Make smaller amounts, you mean? We only have 3 that are up.
Right, but you have the dollar amounts. So
That's
you
what I'm
don't,
saying.
so you don't have to keep them as 3. Now you can take that and since it's 13.
I'm just saying,
piece.
so you
Right, so you
break it
can,
into more than 3.
yeah. So then you can stagger them more.
Yeah.
And then that way some money becomes available and then you can just reinvest it and.
My only challenge was that it takes a finite amount of time to keep watching those and be careful that you don't. I mean, it's 6 one, half a dozen the other, but it does take a certain amount of attention to it. The more you have, the more you gotta watch them.
True. I just know like big
you did make a
organizations.
motion already, correct?
I did.
All right, I'll second Gary's motion.
All right, motion by Ruth, second. Or, excuse me. Motion by Gary, second by Ruth. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
I,
Opposed, none. All right. motion carries. All right. Now we're gonna discuss the office assistant.
yeah, and I think the reason it's on there is because of me. I've had a chance to review this and I asked Tiffany, actually, I think I asked Leah, to make sure everybody got a copy of that so they could kind of review it themselves before this meeting. There's a fair amount of reading involved. This is more complicated than I thought it was going to be. It's a little more responsibility, I think, than I was looking, our specific responsibilities. But at the same time, these are all things that I think are important and that an assistant should be aware of and be responsible for. I go back to my original concerns about the number of hours. Is this a part-time job? Is this a full-time job? This reads like a full-time job. And that's kind of my take on it. And if it's a full-time job, then I think we've got to have a completely different mandate to think about if that's the case. And do we want to do this? So has anybody else had a chance to read this at any length?
I skimmed through it. The only thing that I would change in there, and it's a small change, but the first line under responsibilities where it says assist all staff. My understanding is this is going to be an ask me position, right?
It is.
So they cross over and help public works, being that it's a different union?
I traditionally have been.
Okay,
So that's the only reason why I said all there's minor things that I've been helping them with, but now that we now have Mike on board, they may not need that.
okay.
So
I like I said, I just don't want,
agreed.
I more or less, that was the only thing that I had a question about. But no, everything else seemed pretty straightforward. And I would defer this to the office staff. This person is there to help.
In my mind, I would like to see us find somebody that could train to eventually take over for Leah, because she is getting somewhat close to retirement age. And so I would like to see somebody that is willing to train to replace her at some point down the road.
Makes sense.
So that's kind of why this is written this way, is to kind of work them into knowing everything that Leah knows.
So would you need somebody part-time now, full-time, part-time now with the option to grow? Like, what, how much time do you think you need someone to be in that office? I mean, I understand everyone's work pace is different. You know, someone could come in and do the same amount of work in 20 hours as they could 40, but realistically,
I think we have enough work to support a full-time. I mean, you would say that too, right, Leah? Yeah. I mean, that's where we stand.
You know, as a board, when we first started talking about this, it was kind of somebody who's going to answer the phones. And this developed into something, I think, more than what that expectation was. Now, I don't think that's a bad thing. I happen to come into this office and call it often enough to know that, yeah, you guys are busy. And another full-time person would, I think, enhance the abilities of the staff and our delivery of issues to the township in a good way. So I support a full-time position.
yeah,
But
I
this
don't
is
think we're getting any smaller either.
We're not getting smaller. But this, I think, is a change from what we originally thought we were looking for. And if we look for somebody and it's full-time, you already have some people in mind? Are we in a position where we can move along with this? Or are we still waiting for the building to become compatible office space wise?
We are working on the office. I mean, so the office space shouldn't be too much of a holdup. I think our stuff is supposed to be getting here in about a month. So within that time, we should have the office pretty much ready.
So are we at a point where we could advertise for a person if we agree that this job description?
The only concern I have with that, and as you're well aware, this is the busy time for the staff. Everyone in there is busy. And my only concern is if we hire them now, because for the onboarding process and the training process, it's going to take time from them to train them. And I just don't know if it would make more sense to post it and hire when things slow down.
I've been here for about 9 months. I have yet to see a time that wasn't a busy time. And it flows a little bit, but I have yet to see a time that's not busy. And yeah, we are, as soon as we get done with this busy time, we're starting to look at year end already. That's just my opinion. There's never a good time. There's never that perfect time. This is my opinion. And as much as it'll put added stress on everybody, and including the board members, because we'll have to do interviewing. But go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, since I'd like to have at least until our next meeting to kind of look over this role overview and just kind of sift through some of the ideas that are on here. When Tony's here too, because he's been on board almost as long as I have, just to, have further discussion and I would like to also, if this is acceptable with, all the board members, put an ad in and if we are short-staffed, get somebody in here. The training will have to come sooner or later. And like Gary says, busy is busy. And they have to be training.
Yeah. I support that, certainly.
So I'd like to table that discussion again until our next meeting.
Okay.
Perfect.
Now, having said that, I know this was about the office staff, but I've also been reviewing all of the job descriptions, and we'll continue to do that what are we, the personnel team? Yeah, we'll continue to do that. But I just want to kind of put that out there, as I think we are woefully behind in making the staff understand what their responsibilities are. And we'll look forward to maybe changing and redoing some of these job descriptions for everybody. That's just not a warning, but something to look forward to,
An update.
an update.
Updates are a bad thing. Okay, all right. It'll be clear to, next meeting. All right, accounting software.
That's me. Okay, so I've been kind of reviewing software options over the past few months. And the one that stood out to me, so I put them on the top of my list here, was Cassell. They're pretty much in line with the other companies as far as cost, but they stood out to me as being more capable, more user-friendly, really good training provided. And I also included some emails from other cities that are using Cassell, and everything I've heard from people that use it, they really like it, and it's just a really capable software. So I included the proposal. It's the setup of it is 29,121. And then the annual fees are 12,300. If we go with it, we would pay 50% upfront, and then the other of the setup, and then the other 50% plus the annual fee at the time the software goes live. It takes about 6 months-ish, give or take, to get the software set up with all of our data and everything in there. And then this proposal does include a discount. The discount expires at the end of the month. So if we want to go with it, I would like a decision tonight if possible, so that we don't lose that discount.
What is the discount?
It's 5,000
So
off the annual fee.
page 4
Okay.
breaks it down.
Did you have some other estimates or?
Yep, that's on that
The
first
quotes?
page. I got Cassell, I got Tyler, G-Works, Edmunds GovTech, Software Solutions, and OpenGov.
Okay, because this is the only one with a complete info. That's why I was asking.
Yeah, and I didn't want to put all the proposals in. If you want to see other proposals, I can provide them.
No, I,
But this is the one that stood out to me, and it's pretty much, it's close to the others.
Don't know anything about financial software, so I'm gonna kind of trust your opinion. I do like the fact that neighboring community uses it and speaks very highly of it, so at least you have somebody you probably have spoken to. You could ask questions, need be, or, and what, reading through the reviews, a lot of comments about how supportive they are.
Right.
So through the process, so, I mean, have you gotten a chance to do a demo with it? Have you?
Yes,
Okay, and everything flows well,
it's really nice. It has a nice flow. I like that you can set up like checklists for different processes, which would help for if I was gone and somebody else had to take care of something. You can, each different process, you can have this checklist, and it walks you through what you need to do to complete that process, whether it's payroll or doing claims or whatever, setting up a new employee. You can set up these checklists, and so it kind of almost makes it foolproof, where like if somebody else were to come in, they walk through this checklist and they make sure they don't miss a step.
have you, just out of curiosity, bounced this off AppDoItAll, this company?
I mentioned it to Bonnie when we were doing the audit. And she said that she's only heard good things about it too.
Okay. That makes a little difference to me, but
So that 6 months of setup time, that's includes training and.
Right. Yep.
And just getting the software working properly.
Yep, getting all of our data imported in there, all of our historical data and everything, and getting everything set up the way we would use it, and the training.
Would you train here or there? Is that from?
It would be remote training.
Oh, okay.
So you need a motion from us to move forward with this?
Yeah.
If it needs to be done before the end of the month, we don't have another meeting.
We don't.
No. And honestly, even this, the timing, even not factoring in the discount, if it takes 6 months, that puts us, now we're starting to get ready for,
Right.
and
Yeah.
meeting,
We're gonna be busy, you're saying.
She's gonna be busy.
What were you gonna say, Nathan?
I'll make a motion to accept the proposal from Cassell for accounting software.
All right, motion by Nathan. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
All right, second by Gary. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Motion carries. Here you go, Tiffany. Now we can stop looking at those financial documents. All right. Finally finished off new business. All right, personnel reports. Gosh, Mike, whoever wants to speak.
I'll start out. The road crew, we've been busy the past few weeks, graveling roads, preparing for chloride. And then starting Monday, late last week, and then Monday, we have graders out in full force shaping up roads. And we finished chloriding all our dirt roads yesterday. That's taken care of. So once that's done, now roadside mowing on our dirt roads resumed today. And then we started working on our sign concrete installation. When we were discussing the park there, Gary, we were talking about redoing some of the concrete sidewalk just in front of the bathrooms there. I think we're still on a standstill with that, correct?
Yes, we are.
So Mr. Koski agreed to donate the concrete for that, and then I kind of railroaded him into doing this too. That slab there, it's gonna take about half a yard, so we kind of shot for 3/4 yard just to have extra, just in case. Koski's got a minimum of a yard, so I don't know if do we have anything at the fire hall we could form up something, or just for that yard, or otherwise we can mix it ourselves, and
So-
it'd take 40 bags to do that slab,
So
50-pound bag.
I did notice that the book thing is gone, but there's still the white circle. Were you guys planning on?
That white circle, I need to clean it. That we were talking about drilling a post hole in there, but there's some wires out there from the previous application of this building. And I didn't want to monkey with those wires because there used to be some lights out there. And I don't know where those wires are. We'd have to tie into them somewheres and try to locate them. So we had mounted that sign on a corner post of the awning out there. And throughout the winter, unfortunately, that little barn book nook thing or whatever, it kind of fell apart throughout the winter. So we removed it. We still have it, so I don't know if the school wants it back and they could try to rebuild it, or.
I'll just let Melanie know what happened to it.
I was supposed to ask tonight. I was gonna ask after, so I can let Melanie know
What are you gonna let her know?
that it kind of fell apart.
And that-
Back.
That FedEx was putting their packages in there?
No, nobody was using.
There-
Oh, they weren't?
There-
Oh, that's.
There was one package that got left in there.
Oh,
after
there was,
hours,
well,
yeah.
then it served a purpose, I guess, but no books were in there. No books were in there that I noticed, and then next thing you know, the door fell off of it, and then we decided to remove it before it, it kind of got more decrepit and.
Yeah, I kind of asked them to remove it because it was falling apart, and I didn't like that a package was left in there because I don't want somebody thinking that that's up for grabs.
Oh, sure, true.
The only reason why I was asking is because if it was getting drilled or something, well, then there's your concrete
Correct.
for a sound too.
Right, no, I understand that, so. And I can't think of anything at the garage we need, we talked about pouring a couple of wheels of concrete just to make some extra, extra mailbox stands or just to have on hand, but for temporaries,
Sure.
but all the wheels we got over there are off of the kind of bigger trucks, so they're heavy, so we really don't need that concrete in there, but.
I'd say let's leave it alone unless Melanie is adamant about putting up another.
I'll message her now and see if
Yeah.
response.
Yeah, I can't think of anything for concrete. I mean, Koski might know, the only spot that I might be able to think of is the back door off the apparatus bay. Where the medical truck is, there's that generator,
Yeah.
and I can't remember if there's a stoop there or not. But
If
that,
we
that
could
would be
whip up
some,
a form quick just to pour.
that would be some wheelbarrowing. Might be worth a phone, when we plan on pouring.
Monday.
Okay, I don't know where Kyle is or, that might be worth a phone call. I can't remember if there's.
Well, we were thinking Monday, but now just this evening I got a hiccup. We got a meeting with Will that kind of got moved up a little bit. And then, I just found out later we got an issue with one of our dump trucks that is gonna be worked on in the morning on Monday. So that guy is taken away from this project, so.
Okay.
And then we have a family emergency with another employee, which he probably won't be to work Monday or Tuesday, so we'll be a little bit kind of busy on Monday, so I'm gonna probably push that project back now.
Okay. Yeah, if you want.
But otherwise, if the township wants, we can mix up 40 bags too.
So, Bukowski's donating it, right?
He's gonna donate it, but
So,
he wants a yard minimum.
yeah,
Make it work.
You get a bigger footprint.
Well, then we gotta redo our.
I know.
Your form.
Yeah,
Which is not the end of the world either, but then that's just,
Yeah.
it's all ready to pour right now.
Yeah, I just wish we were in a position to, get Northridge going, but we're still waiting on the county to get back to
Okay.
us.
Well, here's another thought. We could form up a couple pads and then they can be installed later.
That's a
just,
good idea.
just form them up and just bring them in on the forks on the skid steer.
Okay.
That's a good idea.
That's a little harder leveling wise, but it can be done.
You have to do the measurements.
Yeah, I mean, if there's gonna be enough for, you
I
know.
think
this
that might
much-
be another yard of material.
Oh, yeah, no, it'd be, for what we gotta do over there, it'd probably be another yard, so, and it's all donated.
Yeah, well, I'll leave that to you if you want to do that.
Or we can start pouring the slab for the new public works building.
Okay, there you go.
Now you're getting carried away.
Well, it's all donated, though.
I know.
Otherwise, just run it off and then just.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What else you got? Is that it?
Yeah, that's it.
Mike, how you liking it so far? Learning a lot? It's good. Fantastic. Casey?
Well, I was gonna ask Mike to introduce himself and tell us what his story is.
I suppose. Speak.
Have you
It's
met?
gonna be the same.
Yeah, you were gonna do the same thing? All right, go.
I thought you guys.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to already visit with you, but the rest of the board may not know you. Maybe would you have just a couple of minutes and share who you are?
My name is Mike Zell. I have a background in manufacturing, logistics, CDL Class A driving. I look forward to serving the community, getting to know everybody, earning your trust, and forward to work with everybody.
Welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Casey?
For the month of June, there was 130 calls to service and township in which I handled medical.
Done, good sir. Well done.
Well,
Oh. There you are, Will.
Yeah, I'm hiding.
Hey, buddy. My God, I know, I saw him.
You guys should have a smoke testing report and figure in the packet, I believe. But we just kind of wanted to pop in and talk about that a little bit, just give an update on what we found. So hopefully you guys didn't get too many calls from us doing that, but so pretty much we were testing lift station gravity sewer network for lift station 1. Sorry, that came out weird, but we blow smoke through the sewers and see where it comes out. It should come out of the tops of the houses through the sewer vents. And if it comes out in any other location, we take note of that. And that helps us identify sources of I&I getting into the system, which is just groundwater, which will take up capacity Make the pumps run a little more, so. And then on top of that, with our figures that we're recording, it helps us make a roadmap of kind of planning the future on what we're gonna help improve, so. The figure shows all the manholes and cleanouts that we located that had some sort of smoke coming out of them in a irregular way. If you flip to the last sheet in the report, there's some pictures attached there. But the main things we found were manholes that had some sort of groundwater getting in from the joints. So like if you look at manhole 2, the first picture, the bottom end of that barrel is kind of dark and then the top end is kind of a lighter color. That's just showing that the groundwater table, when it gets up to that point, it's kind of seeping in. We want to keep that water out. So manhole 26, next picture, it's showing kind of the gold streaks there. It's the same deal. That's actually where the riverbend development is tying into. We did this testing in early May, so there was a lot of groundwater in that area and there was a lot of clear water flowing in. So dropping down a little bit, manhole 4, that casting. So where the iron was connecting to the concrete, it was blowing out of there like crazy, which that should all be sealed up too. So these manholes, most of them were from when the original PVC system was kind of installed. The structures themselves look really good, but there's a chance that they just weren't sealed up properly with a mastic on the outside or some sort of sealant. So next steps with some of those manholes would be to just do some sort of a rehab because like I said, structurally, there's no need to replace them. As for the residential side, the bottom 2 pictures show what it looks like if there's an uncapped cleanout. So if there's a lot of rain, water in the yard, I mean, those puddles will kind of just flow right into those things. We just, same deal, want to get those capped up. So these things will kind of work with township staff. Like I said, it helps us kind of make a roadmap on how we want to move forward with improvements. So main thing is just kind of getting something in front of you guys to show what we were working on. So the Timberline Road section, we actually had a hard time even blowing smoke through that area because there's some sags in the sewer there.
So that one, that, I don't know if you were here or Nate, but that manhole is, we suspect, actually settled. And with it took the invert and the pipe with it.
Yeah.
So we've always had comp problems there. And then I want to say 2021, when we had borings done, they did a bore right there and it came back inadequate soils. So there's a good chance that whole structure is settling.
Okay.
So,
yeah, we do have the televising files from you guys too, and that whole stretch in that neighborhood, there's like a roller coaster. So, that one's less of a structure issue, I guess, and more of a grade for the pipes. So, yeah, I mean, for the most part, we'll get a list to the township to get caps on the cleanouts, and then everything else we'll kind of make a plan on. Is the sewer needing to be replaced in the near future? We won't worry about a rehab. We'll get some sort of quote to get things replaced, and if it can be rehabbed, we'll also get a quote for rehab and go from there. So.
very good.
Do you have any questions on that stuff?
What is an approximate sanitary service? The red lines.
Oh, so those red lines are gonna be the service that runs from the house and connects up to the main. The ones we drew in here are fairly long and they also run through low areas, so they're kind of harder to track if there's water getting into them because you can't really pinpoint between the 2 manholes. So
So that approximate is the approximate location? Is that what?
Yep, so there wouldn't really, unless you guys had some sort of like repair with those two, there's gonna be no like plans and maps showing where those lines were put in either, so, that's why it's an approximate location. We have it labeled that way, so.
Okay.
I mean, if you see the clean out, we can kind of draw a straight line between the two ends, but, so, yeah, that's another one to point out on that river bend. So there is a long one, runs through some wetland, low areas there. However, once that line goes live, that'll eliminate that section. Up by the school, actually, so manholes 1 and 2, going back to where we have those pictures. That ditch was fairly wet. And if things aren't sealed up, same thing as before, that water is just gonna find somewhere to go and it'll get into the sewer, so. Those also have some long service lines in that area, so. I don't know if there's necessarily anything that needs to be done with those, but we just wanted to get them on here just to kind of point that out, so.
Okay. Thanks.
You just, I mean, it's a nice map, but I'm going, okay. I like street names,
Yeah.
cause I don't know who an M3 is but nonetheless,
Suppose it'd be a
Thanks for
little
the
easier,
report.
if you got a bigger one to look at too, so.
Okay.
You have other copies, but
yeah.
street names do help.
Kind of like, okay, what's an MH8? I don't know.
MH is
Manhole, manhole.
no, they're just numbered in our GIS system. That's what
Right.
we use for identifying.
I'm just criticizing Will, that's
Josh
all.
has them all memorized, so I can just throw a number out.
Okay, I'm good. Good report.
Anything else going on, Will?
Nope, pretty much just gonna meet with Josh on Monday to talk about that 36 Maple culvert with the DNR lady, see what she has to say about how we should move forward with that. Try and set some ground rules on what we can and can't do, I guess is the best way to put it, so.
Speaking of DNR, did anything ever come up with the lady slippers?
No, we've been swamped with other things, so that got.
Gary responded.
I spoke with Gary on it today a little bit, but it's just,
I've thrown out the idea just to transplant them.
Well,
We have that authority.
from whom?
I sent him the statute. So as a road authority, we have the authority, but I asked Josh to contact the DNR
Right.
just with their blessing, but just because it's gonna be an ongoing problem.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would just be nice to take the plant and move it into a better location.
More protected area.
Right.
And we can decide where that area is? Or does the
And
DNR
that's
have to
where,
work with us
and that's where the guidance,
from the DNR?
you know, would be
So-
nice. So maybe on Monday, if that person is at all knowledgeable.
I went, yeah, that's a good question, we could kind of bring that up. I went to the site where they are. And if we moved them to the back slope,
Yep.
like you mentioned, they mow there, so.
Okay.
I could take a few of them.
But see, I don't know how,
I don't think you can.
I don't know the rules of transplanting a state flower, so,
DNR will have to help us with that.
right.
But it would be nice just to find a better spot for us so they can thrive and.
To be honest, I couldn't grow a dandelion if I wanted to. So a fragile flower like that, I want to know everything about it before we try to move it.
Yeah. No, I got you.
Sure.
Nice work.
Yeah,
Again, I think I threw you under the bus there, but thank you.
No, it's,
Nice job.
I'm used to that.
But yeah, if you think of it Monday, that person, or at least
Yeah.
they might know, here's the number to who you'd want to talk to.
Sure.
And at least open that dialogue.
Yeah.
All right, board reports. Nathan.
Fire district met last night, nothing too notable, new facilities, looking nice, coming along, if you have a chance, drive by and take a peek.
See, they paved it.
The countywide EMS discussions are continuing, and I'll refrain from saying anything else till I have a chance to talk to Kyle about some stuff, so.
I kind of touched on most of the things I wanted to talk about, but the Parks Committee is having a work day on Monday, the 20th. We're gonna move the cabinets out and hopefully get the new stuff that they've got in, and they're gonna do some painting. So if anybody's looking to volunteered their time, they would appreciate it.
That Monday during the day or in the afternoon?
10 a.m. until they get it done, or until they're wore out. And then it'll be the next day. But they're on track to get some of that done soon. And then we're still waiting for the county to get back to us, as I said earlier, on the delineation issues and the what we can physically do to the building outside. Can add dirt or do whatever. So it's just in a holding pattern. I'm working on trying to get a plumber, looking for a plumber that might do the small job in the whatever the room is back there, so that the outside water is more accessible. And that faucet, and it's more, the interior right now, it's kind of got an illegal connection to the main. It's not good. So I'll work on getting a plumber in there.
For which faucet?
We got dinged by the state, the Department of Health.
For the one in the back?
The one that goes in the back, he says that is not acceptable, and I gave Gary what they want to see out of that. And then what is there right now, if it's left on for any period of time, it sprays water all over the room.
Oh, did it freeze again?
I don't think
No.
it's more than that.
Well, what happened before is it had a back slope to it. So, you know, it shuts it off way inside with them being on an exterior wall. The previous one actually just cracked. So then, yeah, we just replaced it in kind.
But anyway, there's actually a rubber hose that connects that faucet to the main, and that's not a legal plumbing setup. So anyway, I'm working on that. I'm contacted one plumber, he hasn't got back to me yet. And then I've got a question about the digital lock. Did we order a new digital lock, and where are we at with that?
For the park.
Yeah, I need to grab it. I have it
Yeah.
in here.
Do you, like, is there a way we can rekey it? Do you know, so that it matches the same key that we use on the bathrooms? So we only have one key that we have to deal with?
You won't have, I mean, the key for that only is like, if the battery goes dead
Well,
or if
I
you
guess
want.
the concern is for the people that are already signed up for rentals, instead of kind of changing the process when we haven't assigned pins to the people that are already renting. It would be easier going forward. It's like, hey, you've got this rental, here's how you access or whatever, but the ones that are already there, if we could just have a key to make it easier, so it's not like in the transition, all of a sudden, oh, that key no longer works, now you need this code. That was our thought, I guess.
Oh, and people don't even remember the procedures to get in and out. They're never gonna remember a code. That's gonna be a non-stop phone call. We're gonna be getting calls, or the attendant's gonna be getting calls. I don't remember the code. The code's not working.
But we do have the lock and we can get it installed. I just thought I don't know how you rekey locks. I don't know anything
So
about it.
you just pull the
But-
tumbler out and you just,
But if we could rekey it to be the same, that would just help for the transitional period.
if you want.
You should be able to. I
Yeah, it
know,
doesn't-
I've changed out a few
Okay.
locks at home with those, you got those newer keypads or whatever. Yeah, and there's a way you can set it up to use your
Okay.
existing.
So to bypass the digital then.
I have it.
No.
Well,
And I,
It's kind of like Logan said, there's a certain way you do it. You stick a rod and there's like a little port, you stick a rod in there and it adjusts the tumblers to fit that key you stick in it. And then there's a process you do it.
depending on the lock, or you have to physically remove the tumbler and then you separate it because all the grooves on your key, there's a length tumbler
Right.
that goes with it. So once everything aligns, then it allows that tumbler to rotate. So, sometimes locks take special tools to open them up. For something like that, I would just bring it to Hagen's and just,
Most of them you buy now, you only can do it on the inside where you stick a rod in there and it'll open up those tumblers and you stick your key in there and then you turn it back and forth till it sets itself and then you pull that rod out and then it's set.
yeah, you could look at this one. I've never looked at rekeying this one because that was the whole reason for the
I know.
digital lock is I can just go
But-
there and wipe all the electronics codes.
If we hire a locksmith, they should be able to set that up.
Well, I would just bring it somewhere. It's gonna be a lot cheaper than a trip charge. Like I said, I think Hagen's is Schlag dealer. I think
Whichever works.
really anywhere, just bring the lock in and just put the key.
but I have it and I can give it to you.
Okay.
Right, that sounds like a plan. Let's move forward.
Well, if you want it rekeyed, I can't do it during business hours, so if somebody's willing to do it once it's been rekeyed, I can easily
Okay.
install it.
Okay.
All right, that's all I got.
I don't have too much of anything, although I did talk to Nathan Feist a little bit back and forth with, emails that were, you know, to just suggest that maybe we get a hold of our financial advisor and start the ball rolling for financing for the Public Works building. He says it's not too soon to start getting information.
Okay,
And so I'd like you to put that on your little list of to-dos.
sure.
I know you don't have much else to do, so. But just to get it started. And that's all I had for right now.
Okay, MS, I've been working with Thomson on MS4. Things are pretty much wrapped up on that. Just a couple things I have to answer for him. Summertime, so haven't had to do anything with community yet. We're on basically summer break until September. So that's all I got.
I don't have too much else outside of what we already talked about. We had some poll pad training today, for elections, instead of using the paper roster books, we're upgrading to poll pads, which are just iPads. So we had that training today. And I'm gonna be taking some time off next week. I've got some vacation time to use, so.
Already?
I know. And yeah,
Good for you.
that's about
Yeah,
it.
I was gonna say the same.
Okay, I'm gonna circle back then. We have an invitation to the Minnesota Association of Townships District 10 meeting. And that will be Thursday, August 27th, 5:30 registration, 6 meeting, and it'll be the Grand Lake Town Hall in Saginaw. And the other thing we didn't come up with is a date for our work session. And I think we need one because we've got a lot of things to discuss.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna go down.
Oh, you were?
Yeah.
All right. I thought that was a business item instead of an announcement, so.
Oh, I was just gonna list off the dates and then, yeah. All right, upcoming dates, reconvene annual meeting, August 18th, 2026 at 6:30 PM. Filing of affidavits of candidacy for all town offices, town board supervisor, 4-year term, seats A, B, and E is from 9 AM July 14th, 2026 until 5 PM, July 28th, 2026. Primary election date is Tuesday, August 11th, and as Ruth said, work session, so we need to come up with a time and date.
Nathan, when are you available? 'Cause you're.
Don't let me get in the way of this, because I'm not back till August 14th.
Oh, all right. Never mind then. Would we like to do another meeting in July, like?
Did the work
Work session?
session, you mean? Yeah,
Yep, work session meeting, whatever you want to call it.
next Thursday?
How about the 30th instead? Give us a,
Okay. That work for everybody?
I will be out of town then almost that entire week for a conference.
okay,
Okay.
then what works for you?
Soccer just got scheduled.
Logan, can I chime in here?
Yeah, sure.
We had something August 4th for the new building. It was August 4th, right?
Yeah, that's 3.
Is there a chance we could,
Just piggyback off that.
yeah, since you're here,
Yeah, why don't we, if everyone's available and earlier the better would work better for me. So I think it's supposed to be a little shorter meeting. So maybe at 4, we have the,
I'm not gonna be here.
Okay.
Well,
It's gonna be hard to find.
yeah, go ahead with the 4. I'll double back on this, but I have some flexibility on the 4th, but.
does Tuesday, August 4th work for you, Nathan?
No, I'm not gonna be back till the 14th, so don't worry about me. If we can, I can get time, a way to show virtually,
Okay.
if that would be available.
Easier to change it than to not set it up.
Sure.
Exactly.
All right, do we want to just schedule it then for Tuesday, August 4th at 4 PM?
Okay, let's do it.
All right,
Do we want kind of a list of topics, or do you guys want to get back to me with that? So when I post it, like what our discussion items are going to be?
Let's wait. I don't have a list right now.
Yeah.
yeah, I'll send you,
I've got ideas, but I don't have a list.
When are fun days?
Then,
August 4th.
that's National Night Out, the 4th.
Hmm?
Still be doing the hot dog supper.
Yeah.
Combo won't be here.
Tony won't.
Hot dog supper after the meeting. Perfect.
but that's usually not until,
It starts at 5:30.
okay.
Perfect.
We're there.
Okay, Kelly. Good idea.
So we're still set for 4 PM?
Correct.
Yeah, we can always change it, but depending on what's discussed, you know, we can just
Okay.
go through some of it. All right, does anybody have, you have anything more? All right, for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
So moved by Gary. Do I have a second?
Second.
Nathan seconds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have a great evening.
We haven't had this long a meeting.
I was just marrying.
Never, never.
Next one.
So much for putting those well.
Yeah, when I saw the agenda.
I have the newspaper and that.